Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's that time of the weekend where I make my predictions for League football. It is match day 9 in Liga, and we are gonna make our predictions. Last weekend was quite fun. A couple of shocking results that shake up the table in the league. So we are hoping that it is the same this weekend as well. I did terrible last weekend. I think I just scored 8 points out of a possible 27. So that's how bad it was. 8 or 6. I'm not sure, because the entire all the leagues were dreadful for me. So I'm hoping that I can do a better this weekend. We are going to start with the first game, but before I start, 3 points if the entire prediction is correct, 2 points if the prediction is correct but the score is not correct. So let's go ahead and start the first game. It is a Rennes versus Aliaber. Now Rennes, they have been quite inconsistent. I'm being very honest with you. It is 13th versus 16th, so both teams are doing quite terrible. Rennes, they drew last weekend against Brest. I expected them to draw that game. I think they are not really performing to the level that people expect them to. They have been very underwhelming, and they are really struggling. They are playing against a Aliaber side who started the season a very in a very exciting way. 2 wins in the first 3 games, but since then it has been 5 defeats in a row, and the spark that they had early on in the season, it has completely gone, and they are now dropped down to 16th, and it's not looking really good for them. And they would hope that they can turn things around quite quickly. And I think this is the sort of game where Lièvre can make a comeback. Like, nobody really expects them to get a win, and Rennes would fancy themselves so much. They would think that this is the game where they can get that win that they desperately need themselves. They have won just once in their last 5 games, so they also need that win. But I think they are going to get surprised. I think it is going to be a close game, but I think Lièvre are going to nick it, and they're going to shock everybody else. I'm going for a 2-1 win for the away side. The next game is Angers versus Saint Etienne. It is 17th versus 14th. Now Angers, they are the only team in Liga who are still winless. But the thing is, their performances have become they are getting better and better. And last weekend, I think they were so unlucky not to get that win. They were cursing themselves. They went ahead. They had a chance to double the lead through a penalty. They missed that penalty, and they created a good amount of chances, but they were not able to get the job done. So they would be really disappointed. They are playing against the Saint Etienne side who lost to Lens 2-0 quite convincingly. It was quite a bad performance by Saint Etienne, and they would want to make a comeback in this game. I think it will be a very tight game on Angers with the way that they are playing. They have lost just once in their last 5 games. 4 of them have been draw, and a couple of those games could have easily been victories for Angers. And I think their luck might end up changing this weekend. I think this is the sort of game where they might go ahead and get the win. Saint Etienne, they have been quite inconsistent this season. They have just won twice in the last 5 games, 2 defeats and a draw. So they are all over the place, and I think this might be one of those games. Angers fans, they are they are going to be so much behind their team, and they know that they need that first win, and I think they are going to get it. It will be a very tight game in my opinion, and I think I'm going for a win. I am going for a close win as well. I'm going for a 1-0 win for Angers. The next game is Reims versus Brest. It is 6th versus 11th. Now Reims were involved in one of the most shocking results last weekend, where they got defeated by Angers 2-1. Like, nobody expected that to happen. It was such an amazing performance by Angers. It was not like that they got lucky or anything, but Reims got completely dominated by Angers. It was such a good performance, and like, everybody was so shocked with the way that that happened, because Reims were on such a good run. They had lost on the opening day, and after that they had won 4 or 5 games. And that then last weekend they go ahead and they lose that game. They are playing against a Brest side who have been quite inconsistent in my opinion, and they drew last weekend again. So they are not in a really good form. They are currently 11th, and I think their consistency is gonna continue, and I think they are gonna suffer a defeat this weekend as well. Rams, they would want to make a comeback. Their fans would want a response, and I think they are gonna give a response. I think they are gonna win this game. I think they are going to win it quite convincingly as well. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Reims. The next game is Lens versus Lille. It is 5th versus 4th. Now Lens, they have sort of become the draw team of the Liga. They won their first couple of games, and then they drew 5 games in a row. They won last weekend against Saint Etienne. It was quite a convincing win for them. So they would hope that they can carry this forward. They can continue and get the win and try to break into that top 4 positions. But they are playing a team who is at number 4 in Lille. They drew last weekend against Monaco, and I have been very critical of that game. I think that was one of the worst games, probably the worst game of the entire weekend in entire Europe, not just league. I think that was such a bad game with the two teams involved, with the players of the caliber of the players. I think it was such a bad game, but they would really don't mind. They got an important win away at Monaco in midweek. They won against Atletico Madrid a 3-1. Like they would be on a real high, and I think coming into this game it will be a very close game. They are going away again, so it is a lot of traveling for Lille at the moment, but I think this will be another close game, and I think it will be another draw. Unfortunately for Lens, they are going to go back to their drawing ways. I think it will be a close game, and I'm going for a draw, and not a goal scoring, high scoring. So I think it will be a 1-1 draw between Lens and Lille. The next game is Lyon versus Auxerre. It is a 7th versus a 12th. Lyon, they started the season really strong, but they have now made a good comeback, and they are looking really good. They have won 3 games in a row, and they destroyed Lyon last weekend 4-0. So they would be hoping to continue that form, and they have got an opponent in Auxerre where they would think that it is an easy game for them to get the 3 points. Auxerre, credit to themselves, like they are in 12th at the moment. Nobody really expected them to do this good. They have been very simple. They have played 8 games, 3 wins and 5 defeats, no draws at the moment till now, and I think they are going to continue with this pattern. But unfortunately for them, it is going to be the defeat column that is going to have another number. I think they are going to lose this game. They won last weekend, a surprising win, a shock win, upset win against Rams 2-1. Nobody expected that, so they might end up shocking everybody else, but I just don't see it. Lyon are they finally catch up. They are in a good rhythm. They have in a good form, and I think it is gonna continue, and I'm going for a Lyon win. I think it will be a very close game, but Lyon are gonna win it. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Lyon. Moving on to the next game, it is Nice versus Monaco. It is 8th versus 2nd. Now Nice, they have drawn their last 3 games in a row. They have not lost in their last 5 games, but they are not able to get the wins, and that is the problem for Nice at the moment, and that is why they are so down, like in the 8th position. So they would hope that they can turn things around. They are playing against Monaco, who are undefeated in the league till now. They drew last weekend against Lille. That cost them. They were at the top of the table last weekend, but they drew, and they're now back to 2nd. I think they would want to get back to winning ways and not let PSG get away from them. PSG are playing a very tough game, and they are, and Monaco are playing before them, so Monaco know how important this game is. They can get the win, and they can put pressure on PSG. The thing is, PSG are playing Marseille, so both their rivals at the moment, title rivals, are playing each other, so this is the best opportunity for Monaco to get the win and put pressure on both of them, and I think they are gonna get the win. I think you are gonna see a response from Monaco side after that last weekend's horrendous performance. I think it will be an easy win, a convincing win for Monaco. I'm going for a 2-0 win for the away side. The next game is Montpellier versus Toulouse. It is a big game, 18th versus 15th. Two teams really struggling, 2 teams that nobody thought would be in this situation before the start of the season, but here we are. And Montpellier, they got destroyed by Marseille last weekend. They were never really in that game, and Marseille had their fun with them. They are playing a Toulouse side who I think would be really disappointed that they did not get anything out of that game against Angers. That game was quite surprising that both the teams would be upset that they did not get the win. So this is going to be a very close game, a hard-fought game. Both these teams know how important those 3 points are. Montpellier need to get those 3 points to get out of this relegation area, and Toulouse themselves, if they get those 3 points, they can sort of create a distance between them and the relegation teams. But I don't think anybody is gonna get those 3 points. I think it is gonna end up in a draw, and I think it is going to be a boring draw, and I'm going for a 0-0 draw between Montpellier and Toulouse. The next game is Strasbourg versus Nice. It is 10th versus 9th. Now both these teams have are on the exact same number of wins, exact same number of draws, exact same number of defeats. The points are the same. The goal difference is just 1 difference. That is why Nice are above on the table and Strasbourg are below. They are so in sync at the moment. Strasbourg, they lost last weekend to PSG 4-2. Nice on the other hand, they drew against Nantes on the other hand, they drew against Nice in that 1-1 game. So I think both these teams are gonna go into this game with in a different mindset. They've been weekends where they both have been very good, and there have been weekends where they both of them been atrocious. So they have been, the best definition of a mid-table side this year, and I think it is going to be another one of those games. I think it will be a very close game and a hard-fought game. I don't think any of them is going to win, but quite easily one of them could make it. I think it will be a very close game, a hard-fought game. I'm going for a 1-all draw between them, but I like that quite easily. Either one of them could go ahead and get the win. So I'm just gonna sit on the fence, and I'm going for a 1-all draw between Strasbourg and Nantes. And the last game of this weekend in Liga is the big one. It is Marseille versus PSG. It is third versus first. Now both these teams have been really good this season. I say that this is gonna be the title fight. That's what I said in my predictions. And Monaco have just swooped in, but I thought this was going to be the title fight before the season. And both teams have been really on it, and I think it is going to be a really great game. Marseille, they destroyed Montpellier last weekend. PSG, they destroyed Strasbourg last weekend, but PSG, they got hold of by PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League, so that is going to have some sort of an effect. They are going away to Marseille. I think it is going to be a big game, and I think it will be filled with goals. Both these teams like to play attacking football, and I think this is the first test for De Zerbi's Marseille, how they react to PSG coming home, and it's going to be the first test of PSG as well. It is like their first big game of the season, like big game of the season, and that too without Kylian Mbappe. I think it will be a very interesting game to watch. And you know what, I think the PSG are going to suffer their first defeat of the season. I think Marseille are going to win it. I think it will be a high scoring game, and I think we are going to get a very good game. I said this before as well, but in last weekend with this Monaco and Lille game, I did not hype that game that much, but this game is quite different. Both these teams like to play attacking football, and I think we are going to get a good game out of it. I'm going for a 3-2 win for Marseille to get on the top of the table, or at least get at top of PSG, and inflict the first defeat on a PSG at this season. And with that, these are my predictions for match day 9 in League are done. We are going to see how many of them are correct and how many of them are wrong. You guys can play along with me in the comment section below. Make your predictions, and we will see at the end of the weekend how many of our predictions were correct and how many points we were able to make. 3 points if the entire prediction is correct, 2 points if the prediction is correct but the score is not correct. So please go ahead and make your predictions, and we'll see at the end of the weekend. And please like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 400 subscribers before the month of October ends. At the moment we still need 130 plus subscribers. It's less than 8 days now. It's a big task, but we are hoping we are able to achieve it. So please help the channel and subscribe to it. Until next time, bye bye.